All right, let's talk about a term that is, well, it's everywhere. It's all over your social feeds, it's in the news, and it's definitely going to shape your career. We're talking about artificial intelligence. But what is it really? Let's break it down. So let me ask you a question. Have you used AI today? Maybe even before you had your first coffee? You might think, nah, probably not. But I bet you have. Did you unlock your phone with your face? Yep, that's AI. Did you scroll through your TikTok For You page? AI. Did Spotify recommend a new song that, just gets you? You guessed it, that's AI too. You've been using it all morning without even realizing it.
Okay, so that brings us to the big question, right? We throw this term around all the time, but what is AI really?
So here's the textbook definition, but let's make it simple. At its core, AI is all about making machines that can do things that usually require, well, human intelligence. Things like learning, reasoning, solving problems. Think about it this way. A calculator is just following orders. It's been hard-coded to know that 2 plus 2 equals 4, but it doesn't understand math. An AI, on the other hand, is built to actually learn the concept of addition, so it can tackle problems it's never, ever seen before. That's the key difference. All right, this next part is super important because it's where a lot of people get tripped up. You hear these terms thrown around all the time: AI, machine learning, deep learning, and it's easy to think they're all just the same thing, right? Well, they're not, and I've got the perfect way to explain it so it'll stick. I want you to picture one of those Russian nesting dolls. The ones where you open up a big doll and there's a smaller one inside and an even smaller one inside that one. That is exactly how AI, machine learning, and deep learning are related. They all fit together, one inside the other. So let's break it down. AI is the big outer doll. It's the whole idea, the entire field of making smart machines. Now you open that up, and inside you find machine learning. That's the middle doll. It's not the whole idea, but it's a specific way to achieve AI by getting computers to learn from data. And then you open that one. Inside you find the smallest doll, deep learning. This is a super, super powerful type of machine learning that uses something called neural networks, which are kind of modeled after the human brain. And that tiny little doll on the inside, that's the powerhouse behind the stuff that's blowing our minds right now, like ChatGPT and self-driving cars. Let's stick with the school analogy for a second because it works so well. Old school, traditional programming, that's like giving a student the answer key for a test. Sure, they can fill in the bubbles and get an A+, but did they actually learn anything? Nope. Now, machine learning, that's totally different. Instead of the answer key, you give the student 100 practice tests. The goal isn't to memorize the answers. The goal is for the student to start seeing the patterns, to figure out the formula for how to solve the problems. It learns the method, not just the answer. And that changes everything. Okay, so we've got these machines that can learn. It's pretty amazing stuff. But now it's time for a quick reality check, because the AI we have today, while absolutely incredible, is nothing like what you see in science fiction. We're not talking about the Terminator here. So look at this table. There are basically 3 types of AI people talk about. And right now, we are firmly 100% in the top category, narrow AI. Think of narrow AI as a genius specialist. It might be the world's best chess player or incredible at recommending movies, but that's all it can do. You can't ask it for financial advice. That next level, general AI, where machine can think and reason across all sorts of different tasks, just like a human, that's still pure science fiction. And super AI, well, that's just a theory for now. And you're surrounded by this narrow AI every day. Spotify's algorithm that knows your music taste better than you do? That's narrow AI. Siri or your Google Assistant? Narrow AI. Face ID on your phone? You got it. Chess spots that can beat a grandmaster? All of them are masters of one single job. They're amazing tools, but they're not thinking, conscious beings. Okay, so we've got a handle on what AI is and, just as importantly, what it isn't. But that brings up another question, right? AI as an idea has been around for decades. So why is it exploding right now? Why is this the moment? Well, it's because 3 crucial ingredients finally came together, all at the same time. Let's use a kitchen analogy. To bake an amazing cake, you need 3 things, right? You need your ingredients, you need a recipe, and you need a hot oven. It's the exact same with AI. The fuel, or the ingredients, is a mind-boggling amount of data. We're talking millions, even billions of examples to learn from. The recipe is the algorithm. Those are the mathematical instructions that tell the AI how to learn. And finally, the oven is massive compute power, the hardware needed to actually run the recipe on all those ingredients. For a long time, we didn't have enough of one of these. But now, we have mountains of data, brilliant algorithms, and computers powerful enough to handle it all. The oven is hot, and the cake is baking. So now let's see how these ingredients actually mix together to create the tools you're probably using every single day. We can pretty much break it down into three big categories. First up is something called natural language processing, or NLP for short. Basically, this is the magic that lets computers understand and even create human language, both text and speech. If you've ever asked ChatGPT to help you brainstorm an essay outline, or had Grammarly check the tone of an email, or even had Duolingo tell you if your pronunciation is right, you've been using NLP. It's all about the words. Okay, so that's language. What about pictures and videos? Well, that's where computer vision comes in. It does for the visual world what NLP does for text. It helps computers see. Seriously, every time you use Face ID to unlock your phone, or you put on a silly Snapchat filter, or you use Google Lens to figure out what kind of plant you're looking at, that's some seriously sophisticated computer vision at work. And last but not least, we have the AI that's constantly trying to read your mind. Predictive algorithms. Their entire job is to look at everything you've done in the past to make a really good guess about what you're going to want to do next. This is the secret sauce behind that weirdly addictive TikTok For You page. It's how Netflix and Spotify always seem to know what you want to watch or listen to. It's even behind Uber's search pricing. It's all AI, trying to predict the future based on your past. So we've covered a lot of ground: what AI is, how it works, and where you see it. But, and this is a big but, we have to be real about this. It's an incredible tool for sure, but it's not magic, and it's definitely not perfect.
And here's the catch. First, bias. AI lens from data created by us. And guess what? We humans are biased. So if the data is flawed, the AI will be too. Garbage in, garbage out. Second, they hallucinate. This is a huge one. Language models can just make things up, and they say it with total confidence. So you always have to be critical. Then there's job disruption. Yes, AI will automate some tasks, and that is going to change things. And finally, the environmental impact. Training these huge models takes a shocking amount of energy. These aren't just details. They're the big challenges we have to navigate.
Which brings me to what might be the single most important thing to remember from all of this. Listen to this quote. The immediate threat isn't AI taking your job, it's someone who knows how to use AI taking your job. Let that sink in. It's not about the robots rising up, it's about AI being a tool, probably the most powerful tool of our lifetime. The question isn't whether you'll be replaced by AI. The question is, will you be the one who knows how to use it? So that's the bottom line. AI is a tool, a ridiculously powerful one. And what we've talked about today, the nesting dolls, the core ingredients, how it shows up in your life, that's the foundation. That's step one. Now, the only question left is, are you ready to start using it?